Hello, everyone. I'm Dijon,
And I'm Aiara.
and welcome to the Mustacast, the podcast about the art of storytelling and how it's used across different mediums. Make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe if you want to see our channel grow, and to click notification bells so that you're notified when we post. As usual, free Palestine, but also vote. You know, um, I'm gonna say vote for Kamala, of course, but because we have no other choice.
Yeah.
Neither choices are like great. Like the more I see, the more I'm like, oh, she sucks. But she's the best we got, unfortunately. So
Mm-hmm.
you know,
And
it's
another lesser of two evils situation, which sucks.
yeah, it's weird because it's like she's better than Biden would have been, but still not great. I don't know how we can really make a third party like win. Like we gotta. I don't know how we can do that, but we need to. It's got to happen. We need to get out of this two party system.
Yeah.
But yeah, vote November 5th. This is going up on Halloween Day, which is exciting. This will
Wow.
be a
Spooky
Halloween
episode.
episode. And we talk about all the horror movies I've been watching. But you know, 5 days after that is election day. But also the day this goes up is the last day to vote early. So vote early if you can. Otherwise, vote on election day.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be voting on Wednesday, which is tomorrow, the day after recording. We usually record Sundays, but people were busy. Um,
Yes, yes.
yeah. So what media have you been interacting with lately?
I got a couple. For starters, my big one is I saw the Nier orchestral concert that was in DC. That's why we didn't record on Sunday. And it was fantastic. I don't want to spoil anything for it because, of course, given Yoko Taro's track record, there is lore in the concerts. But it was really, really good. The orchestra was great. The song selection was also really great. There was a lot more songs from Nier Replicant than there were from Nier Automata, which I'm not necessarily mad about. I just prefer Automata's soundtrack overall. So that was kind of a thing. But it was nice.
What do you mean there's lore in the concert?
Listen, there's Automata has lore in the most insane places. There's like they do like script readings that are made specifically for the concerts. At all of them, there's stage plays, there's light novels, there's lore in the PCs that Square Enix had released for the anime, like to promote them. It's crazy out here.
Yeah, that's interesting.
And
I
yep.
look flipped through that near like art book or guide that you brought into the office, and I got to
Mm,
a page that was like showing like the design of like the mech suit that they wear occasionally, and it's so cool.
mm,
It just looks so
it
cool. The
is. I
design
love the flight unit.
design is great.
They're great. For sure, for sure. Um, Besides that though, I've been watching a whole bunch of Worst Cooks in America. Just cause it's on Prime Video. It's a fun watch, something to sit down and put on the TV when you're eating dinner. I didn't think that like there were people that like had no cooking skills like at all, like zero, zilch. Like I know there's people who like can't cook in air quotes, where it's like they don't really have the methodology of like like the more advanced stuff, but it's like these people have like no cooking sense at all, and it's insane to
Yeah,
me.
it is. It is interesting when people just straight up can't cook. It's funny because I like cooking. I like trying new things, and
Same.
recently I've been making a lot of chicken tikka masala. I'm about to make some of that for dinner actually.
Ooh,
Yeah,
nice,
I learned how
nice.
to make that. I still haven't necessarily perfected it. It's still I haven't got the like the like seasoning down perfectly to make it taste the way like Sweet 27 does. But like
Hmm.
I'm working
Yeah,
up to
that's
it.
the thing about Indian food. The spice ratios. It's like if you don't get it perfectly, it's rough.
Yeah, it
And
turns
it's
into a
funny
whole
that you
different
say that.
dish.
Yeah, it's funny that you say that because I've been making my own naan bread from scratch. So it's like
Yeah,
same grain, same
I
grain.
I haven't been eating naan with it when I've been getting it, but I recently got some naan from the market that I went to the market right before we started recording, and I didn't think they would have it. I
Mm,
was actually looking for pita because I wanted to make something else, but I couldn't find
mm-hmm,
it. And then I saw that they had naan, and I was like, oh yeah, let me grab some garlic naan. This will be fire.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. My only problem with store bought naan, it goes bad so quickly. If you don't eat it within like 3 days of buying it, it's already
That's
moldy.
unfortunate because I have
It's
so
just
much of it, but I'm gonna try to eat it before it goes bad.
good
Well,
luck,
it's
good
not
luck.
like it's a single package, but it's like
Uh,
it's so much that I don't know if I'm gonna be able to eat it fast
Eat it,
enough by
yeah. And
myself.
it's like I live in a two-person household and we can't eat it fast enough. So I'm wishing you luck, my man. Let me think. What else? Oh, I'm replaying Signalis, but I'm doing it on the hardest difficulty because I want all the achievements. So I'm playing it like a real survival horror game. And it's been kicking my behind, but I'm having a lot of fun with it. Um, most it's not even like the inventory that I'm struggling with because it's like the limited inventory was a problem during my first playthrough, but now that it's like my third, I'm like, I got it. I got it down packed. The rule of six, not a thing. It's the enemies. They do so much more damage. Like I'll get two tapped, just trying to walk through a hallway. And my aim is bad because I'm playing on PS4 and not PC, and so I have to use the sticks to aim, which I'm not used to. Um, but other than that, it's been fun. I haven't gotten that far, but hopefully, I get a little better at it. And then I think that's it. I'm trying to think if there's any like manga or anything I've been reading. No, because I dropped Claymore. Yeah, nope, that's all I've got.
Oh, why'd you drop Claymore?
Well, not dropped it completely. I just took a break from it because it started getting really, really insane. And I'm like, I need like full brain to read this. And I'm like juggling a whole bunch of series right now. I'm just like waiting for updates. So it's like once once like Witch Hat Atelier and Shadow's House get to a place where it's like I can just like let them lie quietly in the side while I wait for updates, then I will pick Claymore back up. Or if I get bored. One of the two, whichever happens first.
That's fair. Yeah, for me, um, Hades 2. Been playing that because there was a big update, an Olympic update, if you will. And but I'll talk about that towards the end. Persona 3. Haven't played as much of it lately, but like a little bit after the last time we recorded, I was playing it a lot. I'll talk about that a little bit later as well. Um, after seeing Transformers 1, I saw it twice, and I'm gonna get that. I'm gonna get it on a steel book of it on DVD when it comes out, which I think comes out like December,
Nice.
because I need that. I ended up wanting to play some Transformers game, and a bunch of, I think my algorithm started sending me a bunch of like War for Cybertron stuff, or was it War for Cybertron False from Cybertron stuff, which are considered like the two best Transformers game, and it was supposed to be a trilogy, but unfortunately, the studio that works on that game is like one of the many Activision studios that has been relegated to just assisting other studios make Call of Duty. Um,
Damn.
which sucks. High Moon Studios. I wish they would come back and make a new one. But there is I forget what it's called, but there is a Transformer game that was announced at some game show a while back that I saw and kind of just ignored because I figured it was going to be like a mobile game or something. But like some footage leaked and it looks like pretty much a current gen version of these two games, War for Cybertron and Fall of Cybertron, which is,
Nice.
it's mainly they're mainly third person shooters, but the new game that they're working on seems like it's gonna have a lot more melee, and that's my only criticism of the older games is that it's just a first person shooter, and the melee is kind of like, you just walk up with somebody and do this super slow melee attack, and that's all you can really do. It's one shot, but like it's not effective, and I would love a Transformers game with a lot more melee, since like that is a big part of like what they do in a lot of the shows and
What did you
cartoons.
say? Yeah.
Um, I mean movies and cartoons. But yeah, War for Cybertron has been really fun.
That's good.
You start off playing as Decepticons. You play as, well, you choose between three different Transformers every level. The first one, I had to play as Megatron because why wouldn't I?
Right. Of
But
course.
I'm not gonna lie, I was looking for Starscream, but he wasn't there because in the first mission, you're going to go to attack a base that Starscream is commander at. So it's just before he joins. But in the second mission, he's you can play as him, and I played as Starscream. Starscream's one of my favorite Transformers. He's
Nice.
just such a good slimy villain. I love
Mm-hmm.
Starscream. He's great.
Sure,
I started
fair.
playing Resident Evil 7. Because
Ooh.
there was the first Resident Evil I played was the 2 remake, and then I played 8. I never played 7, so I started going back to play 7. It's fun. It's scary. I haven't played a game with headphones on in a while, so it's fun. I gotta play horror games for the first time with headphones, and yeah, it's
Right.
definitely scary with them headphones on.
Bet.
I went and saw Kiki's Delivery Service in theaters a couple of days ago, or
Ooh.
sometime this weekend, and it was good. It was one of the ones I was most looking forward to seeing. This is the fifth Ghibli movie I've seen, and the third one I've seen in
Nice.
theaters. The next
Nice.
one I want to see in theaters is Spirited Away. I want to see that in theaters.
Mm. Still have not watched that movie all the way through. It's like me. My history with that movie is cursed. because every time I try to watch it, like the whole way through, something happens or something ends up getting in the way. It's hilarious.
Yeah, but in terms of horror movies I've been watching, I watched Friday the 13th Part 3, Hereditary, The Blair Witch Project, Longlegs, and Barbarian. But I'll get to all of those in the TV and film section. I watched Interview with the Vampire Season 2. I binged it because I used my 7-day free trial to AMC Plus to watch Friday the 13th Part 3 and figured that I should take advantage of it to watch Interview with the Vampire as well. And it was just as good as first season. A lot of fun twists and turns. And I'm excited to see what they do with the third season. Presumably, it'll be adapting the second book, The Vampire Lestat, which I've been considering reading. So we'll see.
I think you should. Be fun.
Speaking of reading, I'm still reading Mistborn, and it's great. The way Brandon Sanderson builds the world of the Final Empire and explains the rules of the magic system is real inspiring. I'm like, I'm gonna absorb all of this and use it for my own writing. It's real good. And still watching Spectacular Spider-Man, almost done with the second season. And I'm close to finish up Superman the Anime series as well. Yeah, so moving on to animation. I sent you a trailer for a Netflix animated show called Jena Chau versus the Underworld.
You did.
A new animated series that follows a Chinese-American high schooler whose life is turned upside down when a dangerous demon king tries to steal her powers. It gives a lot of Scott Pilgrim Takes Off energy.
For sure.
And it just looks really cool. And I'll definitely be checking it out. It releases December 5th.
Yeah, that, and then also a little, I don't know if you've heard of the like YouTube series Punch Punch Forever, but it kind of gave a little bit of that to me, which was exciting because I think Punch Punch Forever is hilarious.
Yeah, could you send that to me?
Yeah, sure thing.
Yeah, there was a teaser trailer for Invincible. I didn't send it to you because you haven't seen Invincible, but it was a good little teaser, very similar to the previous teaser they did, where I think the previous teaser was also Mark in like this like fast food restaurant that's in the universe, and just sitting there eating, and someone comes up and talks to him, and they did the same thing here and made a bunch of like did some meta commentary and some jokes and stuff like that.
Nice.
Like they made a joke about the 3-month mid-season break between a 6-episode season, which is insane. But they specifically say like in a parentheses at the end that it's coming out February 6th and there will be no mid-season breaks. Nice. So it's great that it's coming out so soon and that there will be no breaks. Yeah. We got a second trailer for Creature Commandos. Please tell me I sent that to you.
You did.
Okay, good, because I couldn't remember. This trailer was insane for 2 very specific reasons that if you don't know anything about DC Universe, it means nothing to you. We see Cersei and Clayface in this trailer. For people who don't know, this isn't just some random DC animated show. This is the first official project in the new DC extended universe. This is canon to the live action, the Superman movie that's coming out next year. A lot of people, including myself to an extent, thinks that it's weird that they're starting the universe instead of with the Superman movie and then this, but with this first. This animated show that a lot of people probably aren't going to watch if we're being real, even if it is really good, because it just, I don't know, it's kind of flying on the radar for a lot of people who tend to watch this type of stuff. And we live in a world where animation isn't, amongst especially Western people, isn't as big as it should be or respected as much, really. But it'll probably do decently. Yeah, for a lot of people, it's weird that they're starting with this, and for me, it doesn't bother me because to me it's indicative of what I'm hoping this universe will do, based on James Gunn's track record, where it will give a lot of lesser known characters their time in the spotlight, and also, he talks about how it's not just going to be live action, it's also going to be animation and even video games, which the video game part scared a lot of people because they're like, okay, now all DC video games are just going to be this. But he also is constantly talking about how like he does not want everything to be within canon like Marvel is doing. There's going to be video games that have absolutely nothing to do with the main universe. Like he's really leaning into Elseworlds and like the Batman and the Penguin show, which are in their own universe but have nothing to do with this other universe. And then you have the Joker movies, which for a while they were pretending like they had nothing to do with, because the second one didn't do well. So like they're still planning on making stuff outside of the main universe, and that's great. So we
Right.
don't have to be afraid about the video game stuff. Instead of, I'm kind of excited to see what they do with that, because that's new and different to have these
Yeah.
like have video game tie-ins that are canon. And I've talked about before in recent episodes about how we need more video game tie-in, or we
We
need more
do.
movie and TV show tie-in video games. Like that was the golden age for like superhero, when we got so many different superhero video games. That's how we got that Wolverine X-Men Origins Wolverine game, which is to this day, until the new one comes out, the best Wolverine game ever made.
Sure.
But the importance of seeing Cersei and Clayface in this is that the actors voicing the characters in the show are also going to play the characters in live action. And you don't show Clayface, a character that people have been wanting to, a Batman villain that people have been wanting to see in live action forever, without the intention of having the character show up whenever Batman shows up in live action. So like them putting Clayface in this show and showing him in the trailers, them going, yeah, you're gonna see Clayface. You're gonna like you're this is the type of Batman you're gonna get. You're gonna get characters like Clayface. And Cersei, I've talked a little bit about Cersei before when I talked about George Perez's run on Wonder Woman. Cersei is being played by let me check the notes. Anya Chalotra, who plays Yennefer in the live action Netflix Witcher.
Ooh, nice.
And yeah, she's gonna be playing Cersei. So she's gone from a sexy sorceress to another sexy sorceress. And she's one of Wonder Woman's most iconic villains, though nobody knows that, because I can talk about it all day. I'll try not to go on too long of a tangent about how disrespectful DC is to Wonder Woman outside of comic books, and even to an extent in comic books. But like Cersei is basically the Doctor Octopus to Wonder Woman's Spider-Man, where everybody agrees that Green Goblin is Spider-Man's arch nemesis, but Doc Ock is a close second. Cersei is a close second to Cheetah as Wonder Woman's arch enemy. Like she's up there. She's only second to Cheetah when it comes to potentially third, maybe to Ares. When it comes to I feel like for people who read the comics, she's second, but from the outside looking in, it's probably most people would consider Ares to be second. But yeah, she's a character that is like integral to Wonder Woman's mythos that we just haven't seen before. So having her be in this show, even if she dies in this show, it means nothing, because her whole thing is magic. She can easily come back to life in some random magical way. So like, I'm not worried if she does die in this show, which I don't think she will. This show will probably end with the tease of like, and Wonder Woman's coming. So yeah, that's exciting that we got both of these characters that mean very good things for two very big DC characters in Batman and Wonder Woman.
For sure. Also, you reminded me in bringing up the extended universe. I did start watching The Penguin, and I'm really liking it so far.
It's really good. Where you at?
I'm at I think I want to say like episode 3 or 4. The last thing I remember happening is that
Well, we'll talk about it more when we talk about Penguin later.
Well, yep, TV and film. We'll save it.
So of course, still watching currently ongoing anime. I just straight up have not been using Crunchyroll. I regret the purchase.
Real. They're in some hot water right now.
For what?
So one of the people on their team, I think a voice actor, I can't remember his name right now, and I'll Google it later to like amend. But one of the members of their team had been getting like, fan mail, and they had been opening it and distributing, like the higher ups had been opening it and distributing it amongst like other employees, which is mail fraud. So they're in hot water right now, because it's proven mail fraud too.
That's weird.
And they haven't released like a statement. Yeah, that's what I said.
That's such a weird thing to do. Why? It feels unnecessary. Right. Like you just got yourself in trouble for no reason. Like just give the fan mail to the person it's supposed to go to. What do you need to open it for?
And it's like, it's not even a thing of like it being just general fan made merchandise. It's like very specifically the guy's character that he plays. And they're like little care packages and stuff, and it's all very personal. And so it's like, it's really weird because it's like for what purpose?
Yeah, that's such a weird thing to get caught up in when you could just simply not do that thing. That's so strange.
It's so easy. And it's like they haven't released a statement or anything about it, but like everyone, like it's been like there's been a lot of talk around it and stuff. Yeah. So I'm sure something will happen.
How about how about they put all that energy into making their app better?
That's what I'm saying.
Because why is the dub and sub separated as different seasons in Crunchyroll? Why do they do that? instead of just doing like every other streaming services do and just have it be. That's why I started watching DanDaDan on Netflix because I was like, oh, Netflix is just a better streaming service.
Yeah.
um,
It's because
yeah,
I think for some shows, if you don't have like a Crunchyroll subscription, you cannot watch either the dub or the sub. I can't remember which
and
one it
that's
is.
stupid. Also, let's change that as well.
Yeah,
That's stupid. Why? That doesn't make any sense. They're gonna gate language. What?
because I know for Automata, when the the Nier Automata anime was releasing, if you didn't have a Crunchyroll subscription, you could not watch the dub. And I feel like a big part of that was also them trying to get back at Kyle McCarley, who is 9S's voice actor, for like leaving Crunchyroll to for union reasons. And like yeah, it was just like a whole thing.
Yeah,
I
that's
don't
weird.
know. Crunchyroll is shady.
Yeah, yeah, it's strange.
Huh?
I say yeah, it's strange.
Yeah.
So watching Bleach. The last episode was full of a bunch of new scenes that I don't remember happening in a manga at all, and it's very interesting to see where they're going with this and the changes that Taikubo is making to further expand on the story, in the way that he couldn't before. Round One Half, remake on Netflix, is so good. I haven't laughed this hard watching anime in so long. There are so many just like deadpan jokes that are so funny. The jokes between the one of the main characters, sister, and the sword dude is so funny, dude. Their interactions are hilarious because every joke they make is so deadpan, and I'm like, oh my god, it's so good. Ranma is really funny, and the action is great. The animation, by Mappa, like I said, it's such a different art style than I've ever seen Mappa work with before. It's very pretty, very colorful, really good action animation. And last but certainly not least, when it comes to anime, not necessarily animation, DanDaDan, which
Yeah.
I wanted to bring this a while back, but I forgot to. But it's DanDaDan is created by one of Fujimoto, Chainsaw Man creators, one of his assistants, Yoki Nobu Tatu, which is interesting. Yeah, DanDaDan, still good. Don't have much to say because I don't want to spoil it for you, but like, yeah, it's a good show. You should
Yeah,
check
I've
it
heard
out.
good things. I've been meaning to watch it.
Yeah,
Just need to find the time.
the opening's fire. It's real good.
Oh, for sure.
Uh, I finished up Tomb Raider: The Legend of Lord Croft. It was like one episode too long. Like the second to last episode ended, and I was like, okay, end of the season, and then went for another episode, and I was like, this episode is so unnecessary. Everything happened in this episode just didn't need to happen. The only thing
Mm.
from that episode that needed to be there was the like end credits that like teased season 2, which they've been renewed for. So we'll be getting more of this, which is fun. For the second season, there's a little description that they put out there. When adventurer Lord Croft discovers a trail of stolen African Orisha masks, she joins forces with her best friend Sam to retrieve the precious artifacts. So,
Ooh.
I can't quite remember. I should have looked it up, but I didn't even think I was gonna bring it up. But I think it's been like kind of confirmed in like comic books that take place in this universe that either Laura Croft is bi or gay, and she's into
Mm-hmm.
this Sam lady who was in the first game. She was one of the main characters. So we'll see where that goes. That
Nice, nice.
that sounds like a fun little arc.
For sure.
Vox Machina's ended. You should watch it.
Ah,
So
it's over now?
yeah,
Nice.
I thought that episode 9 was the end, and then the next week 3 more episodes came out, and I was like, oh god.
Oh.
I thought I got spoiled because I was watching a Wired interview with the cast, and they said something that was like vaguely spoilery about a character dying, and I was like, huh? And then I immediately was like, wait, the season's not over. And then yeah, open up Prime, and then saw that there were 3 more episodes, and I was like, oh, okay, I'm not gonna finish watching this interview so they don't spoil me.
Right.
But yeah, it's real good. It just gets better with every season.
Nice.
Everything
nice,
about the
nice.
show. So yeah, you should definitely check it out.
Definitely will. Then I'll have thoughts next time we talk because
Yeah.
we're definitely gonna binge watch it.
Cool. Moving on to comics. I'm gonna just open up the Shonen Jump app and just say what I've been reading because I don't tend to go into detail like I do everything else because I don't want to spoil anything. But
Makes sense. Better
watch-
than like 99%
Yeah.
of manga readers.
so I've read the last chapter of Jujutsu Kaisen.
What'd you think?
It was just some final little adventures with the homies, and it was good. You know,
Nice.
I don't have a strong feelings about the ending of the manga. I feel like it's a lot of people do, where they get upset like, oh, they made a I can't remember his name anymore. They made him too strong, and I'm like, it's the end of the story. Let him be
Yeah,
strong. Let him put hands on everybody. It was fun.
I was gonna say
Well,
after all the stuff that he's been through, from what I've heard, like secondhand, that dude may be
when it gets
strong.
animated, those fight scenes gonna be fire. Um, Still reading Children X. That's been good. That's by the Tokyo Ghoul creator. Their current manga. One Punch
Nice,
Man
nice.
is starting to upload chapters for the first time in like half a year.
I thought it was over.
It's been no, it's far from over.
Really?
Yeah, there's still a lot of one Punch Man left. Yeah, no, it's just been a while. It's been a very long time, but we're
Mm.
getting new chapters
Mm-hmm.
again. There's a new chapter out right now. I need to check out. Kaji number 8 was on a bit of an extended break. It's back. I need to read that. Still reading Kagurabachi. Kagurabachi's fire. Okay, people
I
were making
mean, just
jokes at first.
listen.
People were making jokes at first, but then it turns out it's actually really good.
Actually, fire.
They actually lived up to they were mostly jokes, but they lived up to the expectations put upon them. Kagurabachi's really good. I can't wait till it
Because
gets
like I've
animated.
heard so many good things about Kagurabachi, and I've been meaning to read it. I just haven't gotten around to it. Doubly so because Claymore has been taking up my attention. But
Yeah, to Takeru Hokazono's art is real good. It's real good.
hmm,
But yeah, that's all I've been reading in terms of manga. In terms of American comics, I sat down and caught up on a bunch of stuff. I read World's Finest number 28, 29, and 30. We got an end to the fifth dimensional imp storyline with a Batmite and Mr. and Mrs. Spitlick. Um, and I was about to say something, forgot. But yeah, we got into that arc. And the issue after that was about the trinity of Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman's first encounter or with each other. Not first encounter, but like one of their first adventures together. Where
all right.
Superman and
Pretty sweet.
Batman and Robin, because I've said it before, Robin, when it comes to like Batman, Superman, World's Finest, Robin is included in there. He's just there. He's just always there. Like every issue of this comic, Robin is there. There's never a time when Robin isn't there. So why the hell isn't
All that
he in the
once was and
movies?
all that will be. Oh man.
He's always there. He's literally been there for as long as Batman's been around.
Yeah.
um, but yeah, it was fun. Read Poison Ivy number 24, another end of an arc. To stop the Floronic Man, Jason Woodrue, um, and the Cordyceps. Ivy unalives herself. And in an
Oh.
attempt to revive her, Solomon Grundy takes her into Slaughter Swamp, the swamp that brought him back to life. Um,
Hmm.
Birds of Prey number 3, another end of an arc. The Birds of Prey defeat Maya by luring her outside of her pocket dimension, but she escapes and now doesn't just hold a grudge against Barbara Gordon, but the entirety of the Birds of Prey. So I'm sure she'll come back
Mm.
eventually. Ultimate Black Panther number 9, Storm and Killmonger find a location of the Ultimate Sorcerer Supreme, but are unsure whether or not they should work with them after they witness them escape from captivity and murder a facility full of people with nothing but whispers. Um,
Oh wow.
in Ultimate Spider-Man number 10, Uncle Ben, who's alive, and J. Jonah Jameson have left the Daily Bugle due to its corruption by the Kingpin and started their own newspaper with the help of Gwen Stacy, who is the head of Oscorp in this universe. But they're and married to Harry Osborn.
Hmm.
But their next story puts them in direct opposition of the person who pays their bills, Gwen. So yeah, fun issue.
Yikes.
Issue mostly focused on those two, which was fun. Leah, you been reading anything?
Trying to think. No, because Witch Hat Atelier is not on hiatus, but it hasn't updated in a while. It's monthly, so I fight for my life every day waiting. And then Shadow's
All manga
House.
should be monthly.
I agree for sure. It's just like I'm so sad because I love the story so much and I want to see more of it. But I respect because Shiro Hama has been doing like a whole bunch of press tours in America and stuff. So like, get your bag. I support it. And the funny thing about her is that like she'll finish drawing the chapter in the beginning of the month, and then take the rest of the month as like sabbatical, which is really healthy. I support that. Um, yeah, no, Witch's House hasn't or Witch's House. Witch Hat Atelier hasn't updated yet for this month, and then Shadow's House did have an update, but it does like smaller updates, and there's not enough for me to talk about with the new chapter. It's just so crazy. I think that's all I'm reading right now. Yeah. Yeah.
All right. So we got a first look at Krypto, the super dog, in the upcoming
Mm.
Superman movie by James Gunn. I can't remember. I sent you an image of it around.
I
Um,
don't think you did, but I think I've seen it around,
yeah.
or you like retweeted it on Twitter and something.
So
Or
James,
something, rather.
yeah, James Gunn posted on Twitter. Krypto arrives on screen in Superman this summer. Krypto was inspired by our dog Ozu, who we adopted shortly after I started writing Superman. Ozu, who came from a hoarding situation in a backyard with 60 other dogs and never knew human beings, was problematic to say the least. He immediately came in and destroyed our home, our shoes, our furniture. He even ate my laptop. That's wild.
Oh,
Is he really a
wow.
super dog? um, it took a long time before he would even let us touch him. I remember thinking, gosh, how difficult would life be if Ozu had superpowers? And thus Krypto came into the script and changed the shape of the story. As Ozu was changing my life, what better time to debut the not so good boy Krypto uh, than adopt a shelter dog month? By the way, Ozu today is very often a very good boy. Um, yeah,
That's good.
I was kind of upset he's not a Labrador because he's usually a white Labrador, but
Mhm.
it's fine. I don't care. He's as long as he's a white dog. That sounds a little
Right.
racist, but
That does sound.
as long as he's a white dog. If he was a black dog, I wouldn't like him. But no, only Batman's dog is allowed to be black. No.
Oh no.
But yeah, as long as it's Krypto's a white dog, then it's fine. But I am used to
Right.
him being a Labrador though.
What kind of dog is he if he's not a Labrador?
I don't know even know what type
Because
of
I
dog it
forgot.
is. It's just some. It's like I think it's like the same type of dog as like the big shaggy dog, that movie with Tim Allen. It's that
Oh, a
type of dog.
sheepdog.
Yeah.
That's adorable.
Um.
And fitting.
Yeah.
They're very heroic dogs.
Yeah. It's everything we see about this movie, it looks better and better. We're getting Krypto. Also, Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow begins filming early next year,
Mm.
which is incredible.
Ooh,
Like I said, when I
exciting.
first read that comic back when it was coming out, I immediately thought, man, this would make such a good movie. Which of course, comic books they don't need to be adapted, but it's hard to, when there's so many comic book adaptations and cartoons, to not read something and go, man, this in motion would look
That
really
would be
good.
fire.
Um,
Yeah.
the problem is it comes out the same year as what is it? Spider-Man 4. What else comes out that year? And the next Avengers movies are coming out that year. I think it's supposed to come out
Oh,
2026, and it's a packed year. Some other good movies coming out that year too, like Toy Story. What, 5?
that the fact that there is a Toy Story 5 is so.
Yeah, it's weird.
I hate it.
But like what they really need to do, and I've seen people point this out on Twitter, is like they got to do what Barbie did, and like really don't like advertise this towards women and girls. Like that's
Mm,
the audience for a Supergirl movie. You got to get those butts in seats. Those are the people you got to sell this movie towards.
sure.
Other comic book nerds, no matter of course if a movie's good, it's good. No matter the gender identity of the person, they're gonna go see it. But like those are the
Mm.
people that it should be advertised to the most, to really try and sell it to people.
Because if anybody's going to watch it, it's going to be that demographic.
Exactly, because like she is the second most popular woman superhero on the face of planet Earth. Granted, that's because of the fact that she has Superman's symbol on her chest and her name is Supergirl, but that doesn't
Right.
change the fact that she is her own character and dope in her own right. So like
For sure.
she's only second to Wonder Woman when it comes to popularity. You show anybody a picture of Supergirl, they're gonna know who Supergirl is simply
Who
because
that is.
they
Yeah.
see the costume and go, "That looks like Superman costume." So if I had to guess, they're probably gonna guess either Superwoman or Supergirl. Even if they get the name wrong, they're gonna get close.
Right.
So yeah, I'm excited to see what they do with this new universe, especially games, man. I just need games that aren't Batman, and when are they gonna show us more of that Wonder Woman game? I hope some in the Game
For
Awards they show some of
sure.
that because I need that in my life. Um, the Penguin. Uh,
Mm.
Christine Melody has completely stolen the show as Sophia Falcone. You say you watch episode 4. Where did you leave off? Spoiler alert for Penguin. We're about to spoil like the first 4 episodes.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. I left off at from what I remember, because I watched a couple, like I think a week or so ago. Um, the main guy whose name I forget again,
Vic.
and it's tragic. Yeah, Vic. His little girlfriend situationship was like, run away with me on the bus. And he was trying to figure out how he was going to break that news. to the Penguin.
Mm.
And then the said Penguin and Sophia are teaming up. They showed off those like mushrooms that they're gonna start selling in the streets. And that's all I can really remember from the last time we watched.
Yeah, but you watched the whole episode.
Yes.
Yeah, it's so good. Yeah.
It is.
From this episode onward, it's not the Penguin anymore. It's Sophia Falcone. It's
I was just saying, I'm a little obsessed with her. I think I could fix her.
yeah.
I'm gonna say.
She gets a lot. She gets a lot of attention in the show. At this point, I don't care about Oz no more. Get him out of here. Just give me Sophia. Okay?
Right.
Just give me Kristen Melody. That's all I need. Yeah, the Penguin's real good. Now that you're watching it, we'll talk about it a lot more. It's a great
Sure.
show.
I'm enjoying it a lot.
Yeah. Now I'm like,
even outside of like a.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, even outside of like a Batman context, it's like if it was just like a crime, like mob drama, it would still be fire, methinks. But
Yeah.
having the Batman backdrop on top of it, so you can do crazy shit like the flooding of that entire street that killed Vic's parents, it's great.
Yeah, and
it's
now
really great.
I'm excited to see like how this all ties into the next Batman movie too. Knowing that you have all of this really grounded stuff happening, and then there's this dude in a bat suit going out there beating people up, it's like, okay,
Right.
let's see where this goes.
What are we talking about?
But moving on to some horror movies. Starting with Hereditary. So I confused this movie with A Cure for Wellness. And kept wondering when DanDaDan was going to show up. And DanDaDan, not in this movie. I was so confused. I was like, where's DanDaDan? The movie's almost over. Why hasn't DanDaDan showed up? But if you don't know who DanDaDan is, he's like one of the main characters in Chronicle. He also played Harry Osborn in Amazing Spider-Man 2. Yeah. I was confused for a completely different movie. Because of that, I was surprised by everything that happened in this movie because I was thinking it was something else in entirety. And yeah, it was a very good movie. The synopsis for the movie goes: when the matriarch of the Graham family passes away, her daughter and grandchildren begin to unravel cryptic and increasingly terrifying secrets about their ancestry, trying to outrun the sinister fate they have inherited. Oh, I just read that wrong. That was a whole sentence. There was a comma there. But yeah, it's a good movie. I suggest it. I know you don't watch horror stuff like that but like it's a fun movie.
See, I've been like moving more into watching horror movies because of my girlfriend who's really into them. So it's like not always, but like more often than not, I'm a partially willing second party because she'll be like, I'll put on this horror movie and I'll watch it with her and be scared the whole time, but I'll watch it. That's how it happened with like Jigsaw, The Killing of a Sacred Deer, which I think is it's horrifying to me personally. And stuff like that. And then also, if not watching them directly, I'll watch like the kill counts by James A. Janice on them, which is like just enough where it's like I can get the horror movie experience without the fear and the gore and the whatnot.
Yeah, Dead Meat's great.
Very great, very great.
But yeah, I watched the Blair Witch Project at the Parkway Theater here in Baltimore, and I met
I was playing.
Yeah, and I met the co-director, Eduardo Sanchez.
Sick.
Yes, it was dope. It was really cool. Being able to meet him and then ask some questions. The movie wasn't what I expected. Oh, by the way, this is my first time seeing the Blair Witch Project, and I saw it
really
while also meeting the director, which is dope.
Very dope.
And yeah, it wasn't what I was expecting. It was more of a it was way funnier than I thought it would be. But also it was more of just a bunch of college kids getting lost in the woods than it was like a horror movie. And then it was like them kind of jumping at shadows and getting angry at each other for the most part. The synopsis for this movie, if you don't know, after the past 25 years it's been.
25 years, really?
Yeah. It was I think the event they were holding was to like celebrate the anniversary. So it's a found footage movie that tells the tale of 3 film students who've traveled to a small town to collect documentary footage about the Blair Witch, a legendary local murderer. Over the course of several days, the students interview townspeople and gather clues to support the tale's ferocity. But the project takes a frightening turn when the students lose their way in the woods and begin hearing horrific noises. So, the movie, of course, birthed the found footage genre, which there are
Right.
a lot of now. And it's referenced in Resident Evil 7. It's because of that I knew exactly what the ending of the movie looked like. Also, I'd seen the kill count, but I barely remembered anything from it. And I might rewatch it soon. But yeah, it's a good movie. I definitely suggest it if you've never seen Blair Witch Project.
I actually have, believe it or not. That is one horror movie that I have watched. Probably when I was way too young to watch it, and it did scare me a little bit. But from what I can remember, it was just more like unnerving than anything, which I really.
Yeah. So I watched after that Longlegs, movie that came out this year. So I was apprehensive about this movie based on the trailers, so I didn't see it in theaters. But some of the reviews comparing it to Alan Wake made me interested in checking it out when it came out digitally. Because I talked about before how Alan Wake is a game series that doesn't interest me gameplay wise, but if it was a movie, I'd probably love it. And I did really like this movie. But I do see why it has mixed reviews. The cinematography is gorgeous, and it's a very pretty film to look at. But to some people, the story felt too derivative of films like Silence of the Lambs. And some people found it slow and the methodical pace a little boring. But essentially, critics love it, and the average audience is mixed. The movie is about FBI agent Lee Harker, who is assigned to an unsolved serial killer case that takes an unexpected turn, revealing evidence of the occult. Harker discovers a personal connection to the killer and must stop him before he strikes again. So the main killer is played by Nick Cage.
Yeah.
And yeah, very surprising. During the marketing, they hid what he looked like for a very long time because they put him in prosthetics and he looks different. You'll look at Longlegs' face and they look like both. They look like Nick Cage and not at the same time. It's really weird. And Nick Cage does his Nick Cage thing. He's weird. He does some weird stuff.
Right.
It's fun. They just said, you know what, Nick Cage, just do your thing. Just be weird.
Just let him loose.
Yeah, it's a good movie. I liked it a lot. It's a very fun movie. Very much a thriller. It's a good movie. If you've seen Silence of the Lambs, it is very similar. And if you like that, you'll probably like this. Last but not least, I watched Barbarian. Another surprising movie. I wanted to see it in theaters back in 2022, but some plans fell through. And this movie takes an unexpected turn that you would not have picked up from watching the trailers. And I'm not going to say too much because I don't want to spoil the experience for anybody else. But halfway through the movie, there's a big switch that's surprising. Or not even halfway, pretty early on. Maybe 1/3 of the way there. So the movie is about a young woman who discovers the rental home she booked is already occupied by a stranger. Against her better judgment, she decides to spend the night, but soon discovers there's a lot more to fear than an unexpected house guest. Yeah, that aspect is what interested me in the trailers, where it's just lady, she goes to the house, and all of a sudden one of the Skarsgård many children are there. The one that played Pennywise. Despite that,
Bill, I think.
What? Bill Skarsgård?
Bill Skarsgård. Yeah, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's his name. And and she goes there, and it's in the middle of a completely abandoned neighborhood in Detroit, where it's just this is the only house that's built up. The rest of them are torn. I hate to say this, it's low key West Side of Baltimore. That's what the neighborhood looked like. I mean, no disrespect. I do not need West Side people coming in here and jumping me. Okay, leave. It was a joke. I promise you. West Side's great. Okay, leave me alone. Yeah. You see it and you go why you go home or not go home but go into the city and find somewhere else to stay because he wasn't that far from a city. It was not that far outside of Detroit, so it's go somewhere that's not here. And yeah, it's a good movie. Yeah, the whole movie you're going to be saying that because she does a bunch of really stupid horror movie trope stuff that just is annoying but also entertaining. Yeah, it was a really good movie. That's all I got for horror movies. You've been watching horror movies this spooky month.
Let me think. Through the kill count, I actually, if we're talking about specifically through the kill count on Dead Meat. I've watched a couple. Um, I watched both the what's that movie called? It's like a Spanish movie, and these people are like quarantined in like an apartment building. It's a found footage film. They're like quarantined in apartment, and there's a zombie outbreak in the apartment building, and it's like really freaky. I forgot what it was called. There's two of them, and then there's an American knockoff called Quarantine, which is just the first movie beat for beat. And it was nice, pretty unnerving. I'm mostly like a shitty horror movie purveyor. Like I watch ones that are bad on purpose, like 3 stars on Prime Video. So while I can't talk about many like mainstream ones, I did watch Haunted Attic Spider or something along the other day, and it was just as bad as it sounds.
Yeah, that sounds wild.
It was wild. I think my favorite one that I've watched this season was something called Sharks of the Corn, which is not Children of the Corn, but with sharks. It's like it's its own separate thing,
That's an interesting name.
Yeah, the acting is truly something special. But I think what's even specialer is the practical effects.
Mm-hmm.
The whole bit of it is like there's this haunted cornfield, but instead of it being haunted by ghosts, it's haunted by like a shark spirit that this cult is trying to bring back to life. And if you go in the corn, the shark attacks you. And the practical effect that they use for the shark attacking people is one of those shark hand puppets you get at the aquarium. And it's very obvious.
That's wow. Okay.
I'm telling you, this movie is my everything. It's so bad.
That sounds interesting.
So bad. It really is. But yeah, that's all I've got.
Cool. So moving on to video games. So PlayStation shut down Firewalk Studios, the developers behind Concord. So we will not be getting a re-release of Concord as a free-to-play game with improvements like I was hoping. And it sucks that PlayStation essentially forced something that no one wanted to be made and then punished the people they tasked with making it for simply following orders and doing their jobs. The reality of the situation is that they lost money on the development of Concord, and instead of docking the pay of the higher ups who made the decision to recoup that loss, they decided to lay off the studio who made it like it was their fault. Firewall did the best with what they had, and their best was great in my opinion. And I wish that we weren't in an era where instead of trying to push through and find the diamond in the rough, companies would rather we're in a situation where companies would rather give up entirely and punish everyone but themselves for their poor decisions, which sucks. That was up to me. It's easy. No, I don't think it's easy to say this when I was looking at. If I was in that position, I would be willing to dock my own pay to keep people on board. Like, especially if I'm already making a lot of money and I'm not going to like suffer that bad. Like, yeah, it's weird.
It's just a lot of decisions that could have been made that were not made out of greed, which is tragic.
Yeah, that's just what's constantly happening with all these studios that are being shut down. It's that they're trying to save money. So they're firing people instead of just lowering their, ridiculous paychecks.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sucks. Good luck to them finding new jobs.
For sure.
We got some previews for Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. Horrible name.
Yeah.
You got Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, Indiana Jones, Raiders of the Lost Ark, and then you got Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. You could have like spiced it up.
Circle.
You could have spiced it up.
That feels
like the
childhood playground game.
You could have spiced that name up. You could have done something different, like the Ellipses of Life or something. I don't know. Like, you could have made it interesting.
Anything but the Great Circle. Like, come on.
But yeah, I was planning on checking out this game on Game Pass because I like Indiana Jones, and Machine Games worked on the Wolfenstein games, which I like a lot. But hearing from Blessing Adeoye Jr. on the Kind of Funny Games cast that it's in a immersive sim has me really excited. He even compared it to Dishonored and says that it's more of a stealth game than you would expect it to be. And there's been a lot of praise of Troy Baker's Indy for sounding like Indy rather than Troy Baker, like the trailers kind of made it seem to me.
Hmm.
And there's some complaints about the level design a bit, but for the most part, it sounds like it'll be a decent game. I hope it's good. It does sound like that it's not as Indiana Jones of a game as some people would like it to be, which I get. If I'm being honest,
Hmm.
they could have just made a Uncharted clone, and I would have been perfectly fine with that. Like, I don't think anybody
Real.
expected anything other than that when they heard about this. So
Right.
I don't like. I hope it's good, but if it turns out not to be good, I hope they don't take the lesson of people don't like Indiana Jones and the lesson of just how about you just make it Uncharted next time? Just
Right.
you just look at Uncharted and look at Tomb Raider. Just do that. Nobody's expecting anything other than that from an Indiana Jones game.
It's like, you see what they did? Do that.
But yeah,
Make
hope
it
it's
easy
good.
for yourselves.
Comes out December.
I hope so too.
Uh, so we got the analog 3D a reimagining of the Nintendo 64 in 4K resolution. 10 times resolution of the original N64. Analog is the same company that made the Analog Pocket, the Game Boy emulating device.
Oh
And
yeah.
they're making a Nintendo 64 variant.
Interesting.
So the Analog 3D is 100%, is 100% compatible with every original N64 cartridge,
Mm.
with no incompatibilities found in the software emulation, like input lag, graphics/audio inaccuracies, or timing/frame rate issues. For the first time, you can re-experience the Nintendo 64 exactly as it was meant to be without compromise. They've also teamed up with 8BitDo to create a N64 controller with a modern form factor, but with the same button layout as the original. And it will be releasing for $249.99 in black and white colorways sometime in Q1 2025. So this
Nice,
is so
nice.
if you look it up and go to their website, the website is just really good to begin with. But yeah, it's the like landing page for it's really cool.
Mhm.
This is an interesting
Oh
invention.
yeah.
Uh, the Nintendo 64 was my very first game console, so this is really dope to see for nostalgia and game preservation reasons. And but
Mhm.
I won't be getting it myself because the only game I really played on N64 was GoldenEye. I also had Bomber on 64 and
Real.
another James Bond game I think was called Tomorrow's Never Enough. And
Hmm.
like one or two other games that I can't remember. And GoldenEye is available on modern Nintendo and Xbox consoles. So other than that, you know, it's not something that I'm super interested in, but I'm glad that it's being made. I've said before
Yeah.
that I wish I played games like Mario 64, Star Fox 64, Smash Bros, and the Zelda games, Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask on N64 when I was a kid. Because if I did,
Hmm.
I probably would be like wanting to get this at some point. Probably not like immediately after it comes out. Probably like later down the line when there's like a discount or something. But like,
Hmm.
yeah, this is dope. This is an interesting. I feel like this is a very interesting way to preserve games, specifically preserve
For sure.
like old cartridges that like you don't really have use for outside of like old consoles that as time goes on they'll eventually one day no longer work.
Stop working. Yeah.
So like having this console that can use those is great. I'm curious if they could do something like this for PlayStation 3 or just a PlayStation in general,
Ooh.
like a PlayStation backwards compatible console that can play PlayStation. You know what? Now I'm thinking about it because the original PlayStation 3 could play PlayStation 1, 2, and 3
Hmm.
games. So if they were to
For
like
sure.
recreate the original PlayStation 3, like the analog, I don't know what they would call it because they can't call it like the analog PlayStation or like the analog game station. That's what they can call it.
Game station is
the
crazy. That's a
analog.
bootleg.
I mean, that's kind of what analog is.
Yeah.
The analog game station. You can put in like PlayStation 1, 2, and 3 disc and they work. That would be dope.
Hmm.
But
For
much
sure.
like
Or
that,
a PSP one. I think
oh
that one
yeah,
would
that
be
would be
fun too.
oh my god. If they made a analog, I don't know what they would call it, GSP game station portable.
Mhm.
um, but like if they were to do that, I would legitimately buy that. I would
Oh,
get that,
same.
and I would get what the original Persona 3 or on there and Persona 4 Golden on there. Like I would it would be a good time. I would get that and
For sure.
the God of War games. I would probably get that if they were to do that. But like yeah, this is
Real.
an interesting idea that I would be interested to see them done with other consoles. Like what if they made it like a Sega version? That would be cool.
That would be fun. Yeah. There's a lot of potential.
Yeah. It's just I'm curious what the legality around this is, because obviously they can do it because
I
they've done it
feel
before, but it's still strange.
yeah, I feel like it's a thing of because they're not providing emulator software. It's just like another method. Like you have to have your own cartridges
Yeah.
for it. Yeah, it's like you're not providing a way to like take ROMs that may or may not be um
Though you can still do that.
attained legally. Yeah,
You can still play,
definitely can.
yeah, ROMs and stuff on the Pocket, and I presumably on this as well. So yeah, this is
Mm.
cool. So
Great.
I believe I sent you a trailer for a game called Tron Catalyst.
You did
So we're getting a new Tron game, and it looks good.
nice.
So Tron Catalyst pulls you back into the world of Disney's Tron to battle multiple opposing factions in the latest imaginative story from Bithell Games, developers of Thomas Was Alone and Tron Identity. Tron Catalyst
Hmm.
is an all-new story-driven isometric action adventure game set in the immersive and diverse locations of the art grid introduced in Tron Identity. Play as Exa, a highly resilient and resourceful program wielding an unexpected power known as the Glitch, gaining strength and abilities which the overlords of the art grid's crumbling society seek to bring under control. Ride light cycles, engage in identity disc combat, and more as you're relentlessly pursued through the city and beyond by Khan, a malevolent program with an agenda of his own, while uncovering more about the glitches that threaten the stability of this world. Battle of Legion, fearsome enemy programs, in melee and range combat, both on foot and while riding a light cycle. Master advanced techniques like parrying and disc kicks to gain the upper hand, while exploring the art grid and collecting data shards to upgrade your code base with new abilities. This looks like the type of Tron game I've been wanting for a long time, but it's not. But it's an isometric game rather than the like third person open world game that I was imagining.
Mm-hmm.
They don't say much in what I've seen so far. I haven't read any articles specifically. I've only checked out the Steam page and like the description on the like YouTube video, and I've gone to Bithell Games Twitter, and they don't say if it's open world or not,
Mm-hmm.
but maybe it is because you can ride around on your light cycle. So maybe it's open world. But the combat looks really fun. Like they mentioned was it disc kicks, which is like you toss the disc and then you kick it back at people so it bounces all over the place, and that's really cool. Like
Ooh.
Tron was a movie about a game that eventually was turned into an arcade game, and but all the games after that haven't been super interesting. But this one looks like the type of Tron game I've been wanting for a long time. So yeah, this is exciting.
Mm.
I like Tron, man. Tron's cool. Bring back Tron Uprising, goddammit. You gonna bring back X-Men 97? Bring back Tron Uprising. That show was so good. Um so Vampire Survivor Ode to Castlevania, releasing on Halloween Day. The day this is released, it'll be out. Uh for this was expected. People were
Yep,
asking for this for a while. Vampire Survivor to have a Castlevania, crossover. And
for sure.
in the trailer, they reference Smash Bros. And say everyone is here. Literally every playable Castlevania character and almost every weapon and ability from the games are here alongside
Oh wow.
what they say is their largest map ever in their recreation of Dracula's castle. And there will be
Ooh.
30 plus new music tracks from Castlevania, of course.
Hmm.
When are they just gonna make a new Castlevania? Now
Another
the reality is because we just got Silent Hill 2 remake, which is doing really well, and presumably the Metal Gear Solid 3 remake will also do really well. So we're probably
mm,
before we get a new game, we're gonna get a Symphony of the Night remake for sure. That is like
yeah.
the next new Castlevania we get will probably be a Symphony of the Night remake,
Symphony of the Night remake. I
which
won't be mad at it. I
exactly
will play it.
because
Yeah.
that means we're eventually gonna get something new. So like yeah, there's no way they don't like make a new Castlevania at some point soon.
Yeah.
I think it'll be sooner rather than later. Like within the next
With all these
five
crossovers and
five
stuff,
years, I
they
think.
better.
Yeah, I think within the next 5 years, we're gonna see a new Castlevania game.
Nice.
It's weird that it took them this long, but better late than never.
Shrug. You'll take. Yeah, I was gonna say we'll take what we can get.
So we got a trailer revealing the cast for Expedition 33, the RPG that Xbox showed off in one of their showcases a while back. So Gustav is voiced by Charlie Cox, aka Daredevil. Yeah, the live action Daredevil was interesting. A resourceful
Very interesting.
engineer determined to defeat the Paintress and secure a future for Lumiere's children. which is the name of the world they live in. Mayel is voiced by Jennifer English, who voices Shadowheart in Baldur's Gate 3.
Nice.
Is a shy loner eager to break free from Lumiere and explore the world beyond. Loon, voiced by Kirsty Ryder, is a brilliant scholar and mage, the daughter of famed researchers. She has sacrificed everything to continue their work. Ciel, voiced by Shala Nix, is a calm and cheerful warrior, which is a great name, by the way. So, Shala Nix, that's cool.
Yeah, that is.
As a calm and cheerful warrior, once a farmer, and now a teacher, she greets each day with joy, concealing the pain of a tragic past. Renor, voiced by goddamn Andy Serkis, is a man of fierce determination. His only focus is saving his family, though beneath his ruthless exterior lies a deep, agonizing loss. Which people, if you don't know who Andy Serkis is, he's Schmeagol, you know, in the Lord of the Rings movie. He's Caesar in Planet of the Apes. He was Ulysses Claw in Black Panther in Civil War and Age of Ultron. And yeah, he just does a lot of CG stuff, and he's really good at it.
Wasn't he also
he's
Gordy in Nope? Or am I thinking of
I don't know.
Different.
He's also Alfred in the Batman, which you should watch. But we also have, last but certainly not least, Verso, voiced by Ben Starr, who voiced Clive Rousfield in Final Fantasy 16. Verso is a mysterious, dangerous figure. His motives are unclear, but he shadows the expedition's every move. So yeah, Expedition 33, for people who don't remember, is a world where once a year, the Paintress awakens to inscribe her cursed number on the monolith. And everyone of that age vanishes, turning to smoke and fading into nothing. Each year, the number decreases, erasing more lives. Soon, she will mark 33. When she does, they will embark on their final mission to destroy the Paintress and end her daily cycle for good. Which is interesting. Because I'm curious, I don't know if it's been said, like, if those people, like, people can't reach that age anymore. Like, once you turn 34, you're dead.
Yeah, like, that would be crazy.
Like, once she's slowly been ticking down, and now she's getting to 33. And everybody that is, like, within that age range is, like, being like, okay, let's go stop this before I die.
Right, it's like, you didn't stop that at, like,
but
I don't know, like, 55? Yeah.
Sacrifices need to be made, and nowadays if we could get rid of like all the 60 50 years old, RP family members, but like maybe it'd be for better.
That's how we get rid of the bipartisan system.
Exactly. But yeah, launch of spring 2025. The story and world interests me, but despite the fact that I've come around on turn-based combat, the combat in this game doesn't color me the way that the Persona games do. So I have to like play like a demo or something to really get a feel for it to see if I like it. Chronos The New Dawn. I believe I sent you a trailer for this. There was an Xbox partner showcase, and I had it all, went through, took notes on everything, and then I deleted it because I was like, this is the only thing that matters. Because it was kind of boring. It wasn't a lot of good stuff in it. This game is from Blooper Team, the team behind Silent Hill 2 remake. Set in a grim world where Eastern European brutalism meets retrofuturist technology, Chronos The New Dawn lets you experience a gripping story that straddles the line between past and future. In the past, you will witness a world in the throes of the change, a cataclysmic event that forever altered humanity. Meanwhile, in the ravaged wastelands of the future, every moment is a fight for survival against dangerous abominations that will test both your reflexes and your tactical thinking. You are a traveler, acting as an agent for the enigmatic collective, tasked with scouring the wastelands of the future in search of specific time rifts that will transport you back to the 1980s era Poland. Your mission is to locate key people from the past who perished in the ensuing apocalypse. Using your all-powerful harvester, you can extract their essences and have them accompany you into the future. In a desolate world filled with ever-present danger, your survival hinges on your ability to strategize and plan ahead. The enemies you'll encounter are nightmarish creatures, both from the remnants of humanity. Defeating them will require you to make full use of your arsenal. During battles, quick decisions can mean the difference between life and death. It looks very much Dead Space inspired. which
For
has me
sure.
very interested. And after their success with Silent Hill 2, I'm definitely very interested in the future games they make.
Yeah.
So yeah, hopefully this is good. I don't believe there was any date placed on it.
Mm.
So Persona 3 Reload.
Yeah.
Spoiler
Yes.
alert for Persona 3. But I got to a character death. R.I.P.
Mm.
My guy, Aragaki.
Your goat.
Uh,
Yeah.
at one point in the scene before his death, he said "shut the fuck up" and it caught me off guard. I was like, I didn't
Yeah.
know this kind of language was allowed. I didn't realize this
Yeah.
game was rated for that.
Yeah, Ryuji drops a not Persona 3 Reload, but in Persona 5 Strikers, I want to say Ryuji drops an F bomb, like a
Not
straight
gonna
up
lie.
one.
As soon as you said Ryuji, my mind immediately thought you were gonna say, yeah, Ryuji drops the N word. And I'm like, you know what? Ryuji would
That
drop
would
the
be
N word.
crazy. He would. If not him, then Morgana for sure.
Oh, that's wild. Morgana said the N word would be crazy.
I feel like
He's a black cat.
Yeah, he can say it. But I feel like he would say it in a racist way. I don't know. There's something about Morgana that exudes like prejudice to me.
Ryuji would be like that one dude, that one like Asian Twitch streamer who recently got in trouble for talking about or saying the N word.
Right.
But Morgana would be like actually racist.
Yeah, like I'm glad like you see where I'm coming from with this. It's like you see it, right?
But yeah, that's wild. But yeah, I wasn't expecting this. Him to curse like that. But I've been too distracted by Hades 2 to progress much further past his death. But I'm excited to play more. And yeah, it was sad. Surprising.
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting it. It's weird to give me this character to play. Luckily, I was using him a lot.
Right.
Because what if I didn't and then he died? I'm like, damn, I didn't even get a chance to use him.
Yeah.
That'd be crazy. But luckily, I was using him a lot because he just does a lot of damage. A lot of like regular attack damage, which is cool. So yeah, I got to know him. I made sure I did all his stuff. What if I didn't do that? That's the thing about this game.
Locked out of it.
Because it's like if I didn't do any of his stuff, I wouldn't have really cared about him that much when he died. Yeah. I imagine what it's like for people who don't do any of his side quests and just he dies and they're like, oh.
Yeah, it prevents you from 100%ing the game because you're locked out with social link.
Yeah,
dead.
But yeah, it's good. I came up with this analogy that I feel like really describes my experience with JRPGs perfectly. And getting me to play JRPGs is like giving a dog medicine covered in peanut butter. Turn-based combat is the medicine. And the presentation, the music, the story, and the characters are the peanut butter. Except the problem is JRPGs are so long that I'm forced to hold the medicine in my mouth until the peanut butter dissolves. And now I just want to spit it out. It's just medicine again. Like these games are too long, god damn it. And like I said, I'm gonna play Persona 5 before I play Metaphor. So I'm gonna take a break. When I finish Persona 3, I'm gonna take like a half year before I play another JRPG.
I think you should. I think you should make it a full year, honestly.
But yeah, it's we'll see. I'm still gonna try to beat for the user. Hades 2 had an update. They added a lot of new stuff that I won't go into the details on. It's not to spoil you, Aiara. Though I am curious. What do you know about Hades 2?
I know that Melano exists. I know, let's see. I know about her. I know about her little girlfriend, which I forgot her name, but I want her so bad.
Which one?
See, and that's exactly the thing. The really buff one. Really buff.
Oh, Nemesis.
Sister. Yes. I know all about Nemesis.
I came across a conversation where Nemesis and Moros were like in a bit of an argument / discussion about them both having feelings for Milenoe because I've been doing both of their stuff and I was like,
oh yikes.
But low key it ended with Milenoe basically being like, I'm poly. That's not what that's not what she said, but that's basically kind of what she said. And I was like, oh damn, millennial.
Yeah.
I mean, do your thing. You gonna sleep with both of these siblings.
The siblings is kind of crazy.
It's kind of wild, and they were kind of like, okay,
following in her brother's footsteps, I guess.
For sure.
Let's see. Yeah, I know all about Nemesis. I know about like one or two of the bosses, Chronos, the bathhouse scenes, which are insane to me. I'm not mad at it though. I know about Hephaestus's design, which is sick. It looks really nice. But I saw something from the newest update, and I'm not even mad that I got spoiled for it because it looks so cool. Prometheus is
voiced by Ben Starr. He's everywhere now.
Really?
Yeah, Final Fantasy 16 really skyrocketed its man. He has a great voice. So they just like we need a husky, deep British voice. Get Ben Starr.
Yep.
Yeah, Prometheus. I got the Prometheus and he beat my ass.
I am obsessed with him. Like the idea of him like teaming up with the eagle that eats his lip. Like just the whole thing is I'm obsessed with it. So now I'm like, I was gonna wait for Hades to get out of early access to buy it. I think I'm just gonna bite the bullet. And
what do you know about like the levels?
Nothing. Which is really surprising to me. I don't know anything about the gameplay or the levels themselves. Just like
okay, because I was wondering how much you know, so I know what not to say. So good. That means I can't say anything.
Oh no.
But yeah, they added a new weapon. I can talk about that. It's I don't know. It's like a combination of the adamant rail and the fist, where you have a punch attack, but then you have rockets, but they're homing rockets. You don't have to aim them. It's really cool.
Oh, nice.
They made one change that I absolutely despise, and it completely changed the game for me. And I was upset, and I had to stop playing the game. I was so upset. So they took there's an Arcana card that allows you to slow down time when you charge attacks. And now it's been changed. And that ability has been added to Hecate's Keepsake. It's literally the first Arcana card you get, and it's the cheapest. So it felt like it was like a necessity of the combat. And I would have preferred if they increased the cost for it rather than completely removing it and putting it on a much more limited item like the Keepsakes.
Right.
It doesn't completely ruin the game, but it did. Like I said, it ruined my mood that night. I started to get used to the change a little bit, but I'm still having just way more difficulty than I did before without it. And maybe that's what they wanted, but like I don't know, it just made it a little less fun for me. And
honestly, depending on like the feedback from it, Supergiant's pretty good about that. If they make a balance change,
for sure. And I definitely complained. I definitely complained on the subreddit. I was like, why the fuck?
You're like, fix this! Fix this now!
So yeah, it's gonna be a while before they do that because they want to wait and see what the reaction is, and how people cope.
Right.
But I finally defeated Chronos, and guess what? It was with the time slip keepsake because of course it was.
Of course.
But yeah, you actually, I'll say this one thing: you can't slow down time with Chronos. At least not at first. You have to unlock it, which was really cool detail for them to do because he controls time. So you go to try and slow down time, and he goes like, "What are you doing? That's my whole thing. I'm literally time. I am Father Time. Why are you trying to slow down time?"
Right.
It's cool, but yeah, finally beat him. It was cool.
Nice.
There's definitely some stuff they're not finished with when it comes to like what you do after you defeat him, and they kind of just push you into death and going back to the crossroads. And like I'm really interested to see with that whole like you don't fully know how they explain why you don't just he's dead now and you win and you go back. It's not fully explained just yet because they they're not finished with the game. So I'm interested to see what that actually the actual reasoning for that is. But I'm interested to see for you to finally play it and actually experience the changes because I've been holding my tongue for so long, and I need to talk. But yeah, it's real good.
I feel it.
Black Ops 6 is
soon.
out.
Oh wow.
And I'm gonna play it. I'm playing story mode. 'Cause story mode is kind of sick. I was watching somebody play it and I was like, this is kind of cool. I haven't been super interested in a Call of Duty story mode in a while, but this one looks dope. So
nice.
I've been downloading it, and it said it was going to take 10 hours because my internet's slow. And The Ethernet the coax cable is in my bedroom, my PlayStation in the living room.
See,
so I can't plug my PlayStation my Xbox in this case directly into the Ethernet. So internet's slower than I would like it to be. So
I have that problem with my PlayStation because our coax cable is in the kitchen of all places.
what the
Because
hell?
yes, let's put the internet router in the kitchen. What the hell? It's so annoying.
It's weird. I mean, I get it being in the bedroom, but like there should also be one in the living room, but there isn't. I've searched.
Yeah,
it's unfortunate. So yeah, it's just gonna take forever to download. Instead, what I'll be playing after I gotta do some editing today because a little bit tonight while I draw because I'm doing a version of Inktober where I draw X-Men characters. I've been drawing X-Men characters. You should check out my Instagram.
Ooh.
It's you go to my Instagram. It's just Dijon _ 42, my art and design Instagram. And it's just a wall of X-Men characters. It's really cool. It's been fun, and I've been drawing so much to the point where I went to draw on a piece of paper to sketch something for work, and I went to press the undo button instead of erasing because I forgot that you can't do that in real life. But it's great because that means I'm finally getting used to drawing digitally, which was a goal of mine. So, yeah.
Nice.
I'm definitely have to go into November because I've skipped days several times and I'm like 8 days behind. So, I'm gonna be drawing into November, but then I'm gonna try to make a schedule to just draw more often. I've been sketching because that's the easiest way to draw every day rather than try to do a full detailed drawing every time. And it's been a good time. I was going somewhere with that, but I forgot. I completely. I'm gonna have to edit this podcast after this because we're recording later than usual, so I don't have much time to edit before I need to upload it.
Yeah.
But after that, I'm gonna eat dinner first. Then I'm gonna edit and draw.
Right.
Then after that,
okay,
I'm gonna be playing Life is Strange, Double Exposure.
Nice.
Which came out today. I would have played it at midnight, but it didn't come out at midnight. It came out at 12 p.m. in the afternoon instead, which is different. Which I'm kind of glad it did because otherwise I would have stayed up too late.
Right.
So yeah, I'll play that later. That would be fun. But that's all I got. If you don't have anything for video games,
nope, that's all I've got. I've been playing Balatro, and that's it. Oh no, I do have something. More Ghost of Tsushima. I've been watching my friend play, and still enjoying it quite a lot. We've gotten up to that part where you get the armor from the lady, and she like attacks you at first and stuff like that. We've gotten up to there. And that's been nice. We're thinking about checking out the co-op DLC, like to play together. But we want to finish the main story first, and then we'll.
Yeah, a very interesting voice actor voices like the narrator in that. I'm curious if you'll recognize them. You'll recognize them.
I was going to say that he sounded so familiar.
You heard his voice.
I want to say Uncle Iroh.
It is.
Yeah. We watched
it's Uncle Iroh.
I thought so, but I wasn't sure.
And I tweeted it when like the trailer for it came out, and then the dude who voices him responded to my tweet. I'm like, yeah, it's me.
Oh wow!
It was Greg Baldwin, the second voice of Uncle Iroh. Rest in peace.
It's like
Zuko, not Zuko. He's one of the character Mako, because I was like a character in court is named after him. Rest in peace, Mako. He's the original voice actor for Uncle Iroh and Aku from Samurai Jack.
Yeah, it's like there were certain inflections that he had on certain words, and that's gotta be all.
Yeah,
I'm not sure. Lo and behold, I was.
Yeah, good game. Can't wait for the second one. The second one comes out next year, which still is mind-boggling. That game's coming out next year. I'm curious when, like late next year, middle of next year. I assume
late next year.
Earliest, I'm gonna assume like, why you want to finish? You want to finish this so you can play the second one?
I want to finish this so I can play the second one, and I also like for, the sake of the devs. I mean, I want them to have enough time to work on it and finish it.
I mean, the first one came out 2020. So it's been a while.
Oh, okay, fair. Yeah.
Like at first I was like, what? It's coming out next year? And then I remember like, oh yeah, the first one came out like 1,000 years ago.
Years ago. Yeah.
It came out on PS4. But yeah, that's all we got. I'm Dijon. You can find my at above me, Aiara's at above them. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to our channel if you want to see more storytelling content, and to click the notification bell so that you're notified when we post. Peace.
See ya.